Welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we're going to decode one of the most common yet surprisingly confusing timelines in the whole beauty world. Basically, how long do eyelash extensions actually last? You know, if you've ever gotten a gorgeous set of extensions and then found yourself wondering a week later why they're already starting to look a little bit sparse, well, you are definitely not alone. So today we're going to break down the actual science, the habits, and the honest timelines so you know exactly what to expect from your lash investment.
Okay, let's dive into this, because there is this massive central tension between what you see on those glossy salon marketing brochures and what your bathroom mirror actually shows you, right? The honest answer to how long extensions last really has two parts, and marketing conveniently just kind of smushes them together. On the left, we have the promise. Your extensions will physically stay attached to your natural lashes for 4 to 6 weeks, and hey, that is technically true. But then over on the right, we have the honest reality. The set is only going to look its absolute gap-free best for 2 to 3 weeks. Understanding the difference between those two numbers is absolutely crucial. It's going to save you so much frustration and really help you map out your expectations and your budget.
Section 1. The biology of lash shedding. To figure out why this timeline gap exists, we have to look at the real villain here, which is just our own inevitable biology.
I really want you to take a look at this number. 1 to 5. That is literally the number of natural eyelashes you lose every single day. I know, it sounds super alarming when you say it out loud, but it's incredibly important to remember that this gradual thinning is perfectly normal because every single extension is glued to one individual natural lash. When a natural lash reaches the end of its life and drops out, the extension goes right along with it. So you aren't losing extensions because the glue is failing across the board. You're just losing them gradually, lash by lash, day by day.
So let's walk through the practical timeline most clients actually experience. In week 1, your set looks exactly as it did when you walked out of the salon. Absolute perfection. By week 2, sure, a handful of extensions have shed, but honestly, the loss is barely noticeable. But as we slide into week 3, that daily loss of 1 to 5 lashes really starts to compound, and visible gaps begin appearing right along the lash line. This right here is your standard refill point. If you try to push it out to weeks 4, 5, or 6, most of the original extensions will have shed with their natural lashes, and whatever's left is just going to look pretty sparse and uneven.
And this brilliantly illustrates a great way to think about it. Extensions are rented space on a continuously renewing surface. I love this quote from our source material because it really cements the idea that biology just guarantees turnover. You literally cannot make a set of extensions permanent because the foundation they are built on, your natural lashes, is constantly refreshing itself.
Breaking down that 60 to 90-day natural lash cycle reveals exactly why that's the case. Every single lash on your lid is in one of 3 phases right now. Step 1 is the anagen phase. That's active growth, and it lasts about 1 to 2 months. Step 2 is the catagen phase, basically a transition period where growth stops and the follicle shrinks down. Interestingly enough, this is usually when extensions start feeling just a little bit loose, right around that 2 to 3 week mark. And finally, step 3 is the telogen phase, where the lash just rests and releases, eventually being pushed out by a brand new lash. The catch here, every single lash is on its own completely independent clock. You have lashes in all 3 of these phases at this very moment, which makes permanent extensions biologically impossible.
Section 2. What ruins your retention? Okay, so we obviously can't change our biology, but we can definitely look at the controllable everyday lifestyle factors that can prematurely ruin your lash investment.
First and foremost, we have to talk about oil-based products. Listen, these are the absolute #1 retention killers. Why? Because oil literally breaks down lash adhesive at the molecular level. Think of the stark contrast going on here. You've got these incredibly delicate, weightless-looking lashes, but they completely rely on some pretty heavy, vulnerable chemistry happening right at the adhesive bond. So if you're using oil-based makeup removers or heavy eye creams, or even facial oils that naturally migrate towards your eyes throughout the day, you're quietly dissolving that glue day by day.
But oil is definitely not the only culprit. We've got other lifestyle habits that can snap those bonds and soften up your glue in no time. Habitual eye rubbing and touching, that physically twists the extensions right off. Sustained heat from steam rooms, saunas, and those extra hot showers will soften the cured adhesive. Same goes for swimming and heavy sweating. Honestly, summer heat plus an intense workout is notorious for costing you lashes. Then there's water contact in the very first 48 hours while the adhesive is still trying to cure. Also, please keep mascara and mechanical eyelash curlers far, far away from your extensions. They add weight, they clog the bond points, and they can snap the fibers outright. And finally, sleeping face down. You're basically physically crushing your lashes into your pillow all night long. It's a nightly wrestling match your extensions are gonna lose for sure. If you are experiencing super rapid fallout, it's highly likely one of these exact habits is the reason.
So, the crucial point is, how do we fight back? Section 3, Secrets to Lasting Extensions. Now that we know what ruins them, let's pivot to the solution phase and get you armed with some actionable aftercare weapons.
Okay, these 5 daily habits might seem a little unglamorous, but they directly combat all the retention killers we just talked about. Step 1, protect those first 48 hours like your life depends on it. No water, no steam. Step 2, cleanse daily with a lash-safe foam. It actually sounds counterintuitive, right? But avoiding washing them degrades the adhesive because your natural skin oils and daily dust just accumulate at the bond. Step 3, audit your skincare routine right now and go strictly oil-free anywhere near your eyes. Step 4, brush them gently with a clean spoolie every morning just to prevent weird tangles. And Step 5, sleep on your back. Or, if you can't do that, at least invest in a silk pillowcase to cut down on that friction. Trust me, these habits measurably extend your lash lifespan.
Section 4, Classic, Hybrid, or Volume. Aside from your biology and your daily habits, the actual style you choose when you sit down in the salon chair directly dictates your timeline.
Looking at these options, you'll see a classic set puts absolutely minimal stress on the follicle. It's just one extension applied to one natural lash. This means the natural lash completes its life cycle undisturbed, which allows classic sets to last the longest, often comfortably hitting that full 3-week mark. Hybrid sets sit right in the middle. They offer a mix of singles and lightweight fans for a really nice textured look, and they give you moderate retention of about 2 to 3 weeks. But then consider volume sets. Multiple fine extensions are fanned out onto a single natural lash. This creates a really high cumulative load, stressing the natural lash and actually prompting it to release earlier. Plus, when a volume fan falls out, it leaves a much more visible gap than a single classic lash does. So you're ultimately making a trade-off here between how long they last and how dramatically dense you want them to look.
Which brings us to Section 5, the truth about lash refills. This is the final piece of the puzzle, how to actually maintain your look indefinitely through proper scheduled maintenance.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this strict industry standard that directly affects your wallet. It's called the 40% rule. To even qualify for a refill appointment, which, by the way, is usually about half the time and half the cost of a brand new set, you absolutely must have retained at least 40 to 50% of your current extensions. If you fall below that threshold, because say you stretched your appointment out to 4 or 5 weeks, your artist basically has to do a complete rebuild from scratch, and you are going to be charged for a full new set. So booking your refill precisely at that 2 to 3 week mark doesn't just keep your lashes looking beautiful, it actively saves you money.
And that brings us to the honest budgeting reality that everybody really needs to hear before booking an appointment. Extensions are a subscription, you guys. They are not a one-time purchase. Having consistently full, gorgeous lashes requires a serious, ongoing financial and temporal commitment. The true cost of this look is the initial full set plus a refill every 2 to 3 weeks, basically indefinitely.
Which leaves us with this final, all-important question to ponder. Are you ready to commit to the subscription? Are you ready to master the oil-free back-sleeping lifestyle? Or, now that you know the science and the maintenance required, is a zero-maintenance lash lift, which gives you a gorgeous natural curl with zero added weight and lasts 6 to 8 weeks, maybe more your vibe? The choice is entirely up to you. Think about it.